Hi, 8th grade. So news. I started my own YouTube channel to kind of just help you guys through the lessons, and hopefully seeing me is kind of the same as me teaching you in class. So we've been learning about slope, and I did mention in class how we will be learning several ways on how to find the slope. We've already learned how to find the slope by just counting the little squares, right? The little units, which is rise over run. Okay. So today you're going to be able to find the slope given 2 points of the line. Okay. Lesson 16 focuses on that, but it's still showing you the graph. So technically you can still just count the squares off of that. Luckily, in your packet, you're going to find a worksheet where it's just based on finding slope with 2 points. Okay. So if you haven't done so already, I recommend that you copy down your notes first before you watch this video. Otherwise, it's not going to make so much sense. Okay. So if you haven't done that, go do the notes and then come back to this video. Okay. All right, so let's get started. So your I can statement is I can determine the slope of a line given 2 points, more or less, right? All right, so my example here, you're given 2 points that fall on that line, right? On that, on the graph. So you're given -3, comma 2, and you're given -5, comma -3. Now, this is your first set, and this is your second set, because this is the first point and the second point. Okay, now you want to make sure that first thing that you need to do is always label them. This is going to be always your first set. The one that comes first is your first set, and obviously this coordinate is x and this coordinate is y. And so I'm going to label it x1, y1, because it's my first set. This one that comes next is the second set. So same thing. This is your x coordinate, that's your y coordinate. So I'm going to label this one x2, y2, okay? And the formula is given to you. We'll go over the formula right now. Let me just go ahead and label it for you. All right, so the formula says, it's on your notes too, so you should just be able to use it for the worksheet. So remember that m is a variable that we always use to represent slope, and it says that slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, just a reminder that slope is always kind of, we keep it as an improper fraction because we have to count that rise over the run. So always leave it as an improper fraction. And all it is plugging in the numbers into the formula, okay? So notice how we're going to start with y2. In this case, our -3 is y2. So formula says y2, in this case, it's -3, okay? Pay attention to this because it gets tricky and some of you will tend to ignore it. Y2 minus, that minus sign always has to be there regardless of whether the next number is going to be positive or negative. My y1 comes next. So my y1 is 2. So the top is going to be -3 minus 2. Okay. Over x2. X2 in this case is -5. So I'm going to plug in that -5. And then it says minus. Okay. Subtraction sign. That subtraction sign is going to stay there. And then x1. So x1 is going to be -3, okay? So I'm going to have to plug in a -3, and I use parentheses to go ahead and isolate that, okay? So y2 minus, because it's there in the formula, minus -3, okay? And all it is just solving. So -3 minus 2, be careful with this. This is the one we always struggle with, okay? This is like saying you lose 3 and you lose 2, okay? That would give you -5. Over, and then we would work on -5 minus -3. Now remember, when you have two negatives, they kind of cancel each other out, and this in reality is saying -5 plus 3. So you owe me 5 and you pay me 3, that kind of means that you still owe me $2. So that's -2. Now, in this case, because we ended up with two negatives, remember fractions represent division. So when you end up with a negative as a numerator and a negative as a denominator, they cancel each other out, okay? So my slope for this problem would be +5/2, okay? So I'm gonna leave this up for you. Hopefully this helps you. Today is our Zoom meeting. It's posted on Google Classroom, and the link is already posted on Google Classroom. And then you can ask me any questions there. Okay, make sure that you're following every day's agenda, and then that'll kind of guide you through what you need. Right? Talk to you later.